Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ankerstar Wealth Market Update. I'm your host, Allison Ankerstar, and today we'll be talking about the proposed gas tax holiday, the giant money furnaces at Tesla, and Met's vision of the future. But before we begin, as a reminder, this is a financial education presentation and should not be construed as personal financial advice. Full disclaimer information is available at ankerstarwealth.com. Good morning, Steve. The administration is proposing a 3-month gas tax holiday. Is that going to make a difference in gas prices?
Well, good morning, Allison, and good morning, everyone. Thanks for that intro there. So gas prices are literally through the roof, right up around $5. California, I think we've seen 6, 7, some reports of 8. Who knows? But obviously, it's starting to hurt your wallet, right? For those that are out there traveling, and a lot, everybody's little economy is different, or personal economy, I should say, is different. This may affect you a lot, may not affect you much at all, but it does affect everybody because it's just more expensive getting around. Unless, of course, you have an electric vehicle. But it is something from the administration to try to ease the pain of the situation. Now, my question, and what I wanted to look in specifically, is say, okay, let's say it gets passed into law. What sort of impact does this actually have? Does it move the needle mathematically, or is it just a kind of a feel-good sort of effort? Well, looking at it in this article on CNBC kind of breaks this down for you if you want to see it. For a 3-month holiday, it works out to about $7 a month for for somebody driving a $12,000 mile a year mileage, which is 1,000 miles a month. Break that down to the average, miles per gallon and gas usage. It really saves you about $7 a month for that person who uses their car kind of full time. So 3 months, that's $21. That's something. That's not nothing. But do realize that this money that is collected through these taxes does go into another fund. I believe it's, the highway fund. So you're kind of, you're giving up revenue to try to ease the pain a little bit, but you're going to have to make that up later, right? So, from an administration, I don't want to get political, but it is something that that is being attempted there to ease the pain for folks. And every little bit helps when money starts getting thin.
Next, Elon Musk referred to his plants in Berlin and Austin as giant money furnaces. What's your take on his comments?
Well, that's an hilarious comment, right? I mean, a giant money furnace, and you're like, wow, okay. Here's the richest or second richest guy in the world, and he's pretty funny anyway. But what's this point here? Is that obviously he's got these 2 factories. One is 30 miles from here or so, and just burning through cash was his comment, and it's supply chain disruptions. Now that's affecting everybody. I know that, but especially these huge manufacturers, if they can't get the parts that they need, that's going to bring production to a halt. So how does it affect you and I? Maybe it's a part for your grill or a part for your air conditioner or something that you're having to wait on. Obviously, it's weird where things strike. It was synthetic oil here in Austin last week, and now all that's fixed. But yeah, so it's costing Tesla money through these big delays. But I will tell you this, that the stock is quite divorced from the fundamentals. And it just is, right? So when you look at Tesla stock, say 6-month chart, it's actually hanging in there pretty good, all things considered. Went from 1,100 down to 700, and you're right, like, really, Steve, that's hanging in there. Well, in the tech world, it is. And this morning, this after hours before the market opens up here in 15 minutes, it's up on the the CEO saying that 2 of the factories are giant money furnaces. So kind of divorced from what's actually going on there. So I don't really think it will affect the stock. The stock has fallen enough where there's going to be people who are going to want to buy the stock down in this range, $600-700. They'll think that's a deal. That's on them. Personally, not getting any of my capital, but I understand why people like the company, and if it is the leader, it is the future. We talked yesterday about oil is not the future. Well, if oil is not the future, then electric vehicles obviously are. Side note: I did see a Lucid Air in a parking lot the other day. It was pretty cool. Took some pictures of it. But those are out now. But yeah, Tesla stock's not really going to be affected, even though Elon's talking about his factories being giant money furnaces.
Last, Jim Cramer interviewed Mark Zuckerberg last night on Mad Money, and Mark laid out a clear vision of the future. What was that vision, and do you agree?
Well, here it is in a headline. 1 billion people. So there's 7 or 8 billion on the planet. So he's saying 1 billion people will be in the metaverse, spending hundreds of dollars each. Well, obviously that, okay, 100 billion, right? You can do that math. But that'd be a huge economy. You know, that would, I don't know if you ranked all the economies in the world for all the different countries. I don't know where that ranks, but it's up there. It's not last, right? It's a lot of money, if you will. So what is this metaverse thing? Well, it's the virtual world-ish. I probably won't do it complete justice with my explanation, but for a primer for the Metaverse 101 from Steve, is sure, it's the virtual world that the Ready Player One movie kind of modeled this. Some others have too, where you have an avatar and you go into this virtual world and you actually live, work, sleep in this virtual world that is all separated, obviously, from the actual world. So, an interesting concept, right? You can buy real estate in there. And this is where, NFTs and crypto, all of these things tend to just, naturally play with a metaverse concept. Then you take the Oculus headset that, it's 2014, that's 8 years ago when Facebook bought Oculus. And, the advances have probably not been in what everybody thought they would be for these headsets, but they're still moving forward. So is it going to happen? I do think it does happen. Is it going to be a billion people? I don't know, but I do think that the metaverse is going to be more attractive to folks that grew up with the idea already being there, i.e. as generations age, and we all do every day. I think the younger generations are going to embrace this far more obviously than my age and above, if you will. So yeah, I think it happens. I think real estate prices will fluctuate. I think there will be an entire economy that goes on in this metaverse, or multiple metaverses, metaverse however you want to say it. But so how does this relate to you and your money? Can you invest in this? I do like Meta stock. I really do. I like their vision. I like Facebook. I always thought, I said they could charge for it, but they don't. So yeah, whether you put in Meta or Facebook here, the stock's been killed along with everything else technology. Here's a 6-month chart. Is that 6 months? Yes, it is. So all the way from the high of 344 down to 157, it's been killed. I don't think it's going to go much lower from here. You're not going to get a dividend. PE of one of the top tech firms out there at 11. I think it's very attractive if any of the stuff that they're talking about comes true. Couple of headwinds, right? Sheryl Sandberg is leaving. I don't know the exact date, but she's already announced that she's moving on. She was often touted as the only adult in the room early on at Facebook. So the respect for her is massive across the board. So her leaving, and I don't know what she's going off to pursue, if it's another venture or family or politics or what, but the fact is she's not going to be there. So hopefully Meta is matured enough to where they don't need to rely so much on her like I think they have in the past. So that's the headwind, and she's leaving. And then there's always risk in the social media space. Who saw Musical.ly morphing into TikTok and kind of taking over the world, right? You can say you saw it, but these things kind of happen. So there could be Facebook could get invalidated over time. It is, not being embraced entirely by, folks, Allison's age, they're growing up. So, jury's kind of out. But if you're up for the risk, I think it is attractively priced here for a tech firm. And then whenever tech recovers, which I don't have a crystal ball when that will be, but I know it will happen, I think it'll be a good name to be in.
Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Please submit your questions as a comment through social media or directly to our email at vipservices@ankerstarwealth.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to get daily updates. That's all we have for today's show. I'm Allison Ankerstar, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.